Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps make the content better. I walked in late from a service call that had run long, shoes still dusty, and Jenna was waiting by the sink like a traffic cop. No hello. No, how was your day? Just her finger tapping a glass. You tracked dirt on the mat again. She opened like a prosecutor. And there's a smudge on the faucet. Why do I have to remind you about basic things? I'm beat, I told her, dropping my tool bag by the pantry. Not doing this tonight. It's not this, she shot back. It's respect. Tara's husband would never. Good for Tara. I cut her off and pointed to the hallway. I'm taking a shower and going to bed. Save the lecture. Or don't. I'm not staying for it. I walked past her and felt the temperature drop behind me. The woman I married, the one who hid my favorite candy in my glove box and left notes, was missing. In her place stood a panel of judges in one body. If I'd known where this was headed, I would have slept in the truck and saved us both the noise. The next morning, she was at it before the coffee drip finished. You know this isn't about the faucet, she said, back turned, stirring oatmeal like she wanted it to suffer. I'm just asking for more effort. Everyone's upgrading. We're stuck. Everyone. I leaned on the counter. Or your group chat. She glanced over her shoulder, quick smile that wasn't friendly. That's rich. So my friends are the problem now. You made them the scoreboard, I replied. You want something changed, ask me. Don't drag a chorus in. I did ask you. You say you're tired. Every time. She slid a bowl toward me and let it hit a little too hard. My friends think. Don't care, I said, not raising my voice. Last night I said I wasn't taking it. That stands. I go where I'm respected. Start here, or I'm out of this kitchen. She folded her arms. You're so dramatic. Fine. I shrugged, took my mug, and headed to the garage. Then we're making adult changes. Tonight, I'm moving our direct deposits. Bills get paid first from a shared account. The rest of my paycheck stays in mine. Use yours how you want. You're kidding, she laughed without humor. We've always pooled. We're a team. Teams don't boo their quarterback from the couch, I said. New rules. She blinked slowly. So this is punishment. It's a boundary, I replied. We'll still cover the mortgage, utilities, groceries. Extras get talked through. Not dictated by Tara or Bree. Her eyes narrowed at the names. Why are you obsessed with my friends? I'm not, I said. They're just loud in our living room, and they don't even live here. She picked up her phone and thumbed hard at the screen. Fine. Then I'll handle my own plans. I'm going out tonight. Don't wait up. Don't spend from my card, I told her. I'll cancel it if I see a salon receipt on it. She flashed a tight, dismissive smile. You really think I need your card? We'll see. I answered and left for work. My phone buzzed at noon, a screenshot from Jenna. A salon appointment and a brunch reservation. Girls' night, her message read. Don't be weird. I kept working. Changed our direct deposit that afternoon and scheduled automatic payments for the essentials. I canceled the spare card and let that notification stand as my reply. At 5, I stopped by our neighbor's porch. Mrs. Alvarez, retired schoolteacher, always saw more than people thought. You look like you're carrying lumber on your shoulders, she said, flipping a magazine. Long week, I told her. If anyone rings the doorbell tonight selling candles, tell them we're switching to candles that mind their own business. She snorted. Translating, there's trouble. Nothing I can't handle, I said. Just making adjustments. When I came home, Jenna was in a new dress, one I hadn't seen. She turned slowly like a showroom model. So, she asked, chin up. You look nice, I said. Use your money for the ride. My card's off. She froze. Wow. Clear enough. I added. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they might escape. You're pathetic. I'm rested, I answered, stepping around her to the fridge. There's a difference. Her stare followed me to the table. Tara's right. You've gotten comfortable. Comfortable is getting through a week without a group review, I said. Have a good night. She lingered by the door, phone lighting her face. Don't wait up, she tossed. Same line, like it had power. Wasn't planning to, I replied. She came back after midnight, lights on, heels in hand. I didn't get up. That was the first week I slept on peace instead of approval. 2 days later, we were at Mark's backyard barbecue. Mark's my shop foreman, straight shooter, beer in a cooler, country songs low. He and his wife Claire have a patio that swallows people. The guys from the crew were there, a few neighbors, and, unlucky for me, Tara and Bree had wandered in with Claire's sister. Jenna worked the circle like a politician. Every story had a sting. Tell them about the time you fixed the garbage disposal and flooded the cabinet. She chirped when the conversation turned. That was a highlight. The circle laughed, polite, but eyes slid to me to see if this was a game. Wasn't the disposal, I said, picking up a rib. The pipe was cracked. Replaced it next day. Cabinet's dry. You're welcome. She smirked, took a sip. He always has an explanation. Like adults, I said. You should try it. Keeps the house from drowning. Tara chimed in, voice sweet with vinegar. Jenna's just kidding. She deserves the best. We tell her that all the time. Mark glanced at me, then at Claire. He was ready to break it up. I didn't need a savior. We done? I asked Jenna, still calm. Are we doing open mic all night? Oh, don't be sensitive, Jenna said. People need to know what I live with. Here's what you live with. I replied, set the rib down, and wiped my hands. Mortgage paid. Yard mowed. Truck that starts. A man who shows up. That's the part you leave out. Wow, she echoed again, and now it had that sneer edge I'd learned to ignore. I looked at Claire and Mark. We're going to head out. Appreciate you having us. Already? Claire asked, confused. Yeah, I said, standing. Not staying where the host gets used as a prop. That's not what's happening, Jenna protested. You're making everyone uncomfortable. I'm correcting a boundary, I answered. Jenna, ride with Tara. I'm taking the truck. I've got an early call. I came with you, she said. And you'll leave with your fan club, I replied. See you at home. I left. On the way, I changed the lock code to a new one and texted it to her with 4 words. Use it respectfully. At home, I moved our safe out of the closet to the garage and put a combination lock on it. I turned off location sharing on my phone. I scheduled myself for Saturday overtime. At 8 the next morning, she woke me with the softest voice I'd heard from her in months. I made pancakes, she said, almost playful. Blueberries. Your favorite. Thanks, I said, sitting up, but not moving to the kitchen. She sat on the edge of the bed. About last night. I was out of line. Claire told me I was loud. I shouldn't have joked like that. That's not a joke, I replied. That's erosion. She flinched at the word. I'll dial it back. I will. You already said that. I reminded her. I'm not a lighthouse. You don't get to crash at me and sail off laughing. She reached for my hand, then thought better. Let's go to the farmer's market. Just us. I'm working, I said. And the money is separate now. That stays. She studied me. You're serious. Very. She nodded slowly, got up, and went to the kitchen. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Another screenshot. A salon receipt sent to a friend. This is why you can't trust men with money, Tara had typed. Jenna didn't mean to send it to me. She'd fat-fingered. I went to the garage, tightened a drill bit, and built a shelf for the boxes I knew were coming. At noon, she texted me directly. Can you transfer $300? I booked a color. It's my turn to feel good. No, I replied. Essentials first. What do you even do with the rest of your money? She shot back. Invested in silence, I responded. She didn't answer. I got more done that day than in the past 3 Saturdays combined. Monday at the shop, Mike tossed me a rag. Heard your lady took you for a spin at the barbecue. Temporary weather, I said. Cloudy with a chance of Tara, he smirked. My favorite forecast, I said. I've got a job in Brookside, then I'm changing my deposit. You still good to cover the Friday call? Got it, he nodded. You good? Better than good, I told him. Focused. At lunch, my phone lit up with Jenna's name. I answered, hands greasy, put it on speaker and set it on the bench because I was tightening a fitting. Hey, she started. So the girls and I found this spa package. No, I interrupted. You didn't even hear the price. I heard spa, I said. That's all I need. You're impossible, she snapped. Bree's husband is. Not me, I cut in. Stop comparing. It's a short path to single life. She went quiet, then tried a new route. You know what? Forget the spa. We should get you some new clothes. Tara says. Don't care what Tara says, I replied. If you want to buy clothes, buy them with your money. Why are you doing this? She demanded. Are you trying to punish me until I'm obedient? Obedient? I laughed once. I'm not a kennel. I'm a man. Respect is the price of admission. If you don't pay it, the show closes. Mike raised an eyebrow, mouthed wow, and went to the sink. You used to be sweet, Jenna said. We used to be a team. We used to be a team, I echoed. Back when you had my back. Lately you've had my throat. She hung up. Mike whistled. You sure you don't want to move in with me and Maggie for a week? Just until the storm passes. I'm good at home, I told him. I built a storm shelter. That night, she acted like the morning had not existed. Poker face. I ate at the counter. She scrolled at the table as if I'd abandoned her in a desert. Silence can be a scream. I let it be quiet. The next weekend she tried a different angle. Tara invited us to her wine thing. She said, neutral, drawing a plate. No thanks, I said. So you're isolating me now? She accused. You have a phone, I replied. Go alone. I want my husband there. You want a prop, I answered. I'm not bringing my face to your show. She fired back a glare that could cook meat and went to the bedroom. I heard voice messages, fast whispering, outraged giggles, the whole chorus. Nobody said I miss you. They said he should. That told me everything. By the second week, we were roommates. One-word exchanges. Logistics, nothing else. Milk, she'd say when there was none. List, I'd reply, tapping the whiteboard on the fridge. Trash day, I'd say on Wednesday. I know, she'd answer, not looking up. When she stayed out, I slept. When she came home, the house felt like a lobby. One night, I came in late from an emergency call. The AC died in a family's house. Kids couldn't sleep. I had fixed it. Felt like a small win. Jenna was sitting on the couch with Tara and Bree, feet tucked under her, like a tribunal. Probably thought I'd tiptoe. I didn't. Hey, I said, nodding at the guests. Tara looked at me like she'd found lint on a black dress. We were discussing standards. Fantastic, I replied, taking my boots off. Discuss them elsewhere. I'm not doing panels at 10. Bree raised her hands. We were just keeping her company. She's not alone, I said, and walked to the kitchen for water. Company is nice when your husband doesn't show up, Tara called after me. I came back to the doorway and leaned on the frame. I show up every day. I just stopped kneeling. Jenna gave me that quick, dismissive smile. We're almost done. I'm done, I replied. Lights out in 15. Take it to someone else's living room. Tara opened her mouth, saw my face, and closed it. They left within 5 minutes. Jenna glared at me like I'd embarrassed her before royalty. Don't invite them over at 10, I said, rinsing my glass. New rule. You don't get to make rules, she fired back. Check the deed, I said. I literally do. Low blow, she said, grabbing her purse. True blow, I corrected. Use it. She went out and slammed the door like it owed her money. I stopped trying to talk it through after that. Not because I gave up, but because I saw the game. Every conversation was an audition for the audience in her head. I wasn't competing with her. I was competing with a mirror she wanted to impress. The break came on a Thursday. I was folding laundry for once because work had been slow and the task let my brain idle. Jenna rolled in late, perfume and laughter following her into the hallway like she'd paid them. You're still up, she observed, surprised. Was about to hit the pillow, I said, stacking shirts. She stood there, arms loose, eyes glassy with social adrenaline. Good. We need to clear the air. No, we don't, I replied. Air's fine. What we need is respect and quiet. She tilted her head. My friends think I deserve better. There it was. The line she'd been polishing for weeks. Then ask them to find you a better home, I said. Not loud. Not with a flourish. Like a man finishing a math problem. She laughed, high and empty. I'm kidding. No, I cut in, palm up. Not tonight. Not anymore. Pack a bag. She blinked. You're serious? You have 1 hour, I said, meeting her eyes. Then I don't want to see you here. It's over. You're overreacting, she tried, small now. You're tired. You misheard me. I'm rested enough to be done, I answered. No more debates. No more panels. I've heard more than enough. Take the guest room closet boxes. Put what you need. Call Tara or Bree. They can host you while they find that better life. She shook her head rapidly. Wait, I shouldn't have said it. It was a bad joke. It wasn't a joke, I replied. It was a thesis. I'm not grading it. I'm rejecting the class. Can we talk tomorrow? She stepped closer, voice soft, almost the old her. I'll make coffee. We'll reset. Tomorrow I'm busy, I said. We're done. A long beat. She tried again, grasping for levers. You'll regret this, she said. People will talk. People always talk, I replied. They never pick up the check. A beat longer. If you don't go, I added, I'll put your things on the porch. And I'm not joking. I'm not discussing. I'm finishing. Something in my voice landed where all my explanations never did. She went to the bedroom and started filling a bag. I didn't watch. I took the folded laundry to the dresser and put it away. At the door, she paused. So that's it, she said, testing me one last time. That's it, I answered. She left. The silence after was not sweet. It was clean. The next morning, I drove to the county office, signed the papers I needed to sign, and put the process in motion. I didn't stage a speech. I didn't post a statement. I texted Jenna one line from my new number. For logistics, use email. Then I blocked the old line. I told Mark I was shifting extra hours. He nodded like he'd been waiting for me to stop flinching. At lunch, Jenna called the shop line. Andrea from the front desk buzzed me. There's a Jenna for you, she said, voice cautious. Tell her we're not available, I replied. She says it's urgent. Tell her send it by email, I said. An hour later, Jenna showed up in person with a box of cookies we both knew I didn't eat. She tried to slip past the front desk like a regular. Andrea stood up. You're not on the calendar. I'm his wife, Jenna said. Not for shop matters, Andrea replied. You'll need to wait. I stepped out, kept the counter between us. We don't have anything to talk about, I told Jenna. She lifted the box. Peace offering. Keep it, I said. Can we sit for 5 minutes? She asked, eyes wet without tears. Please. No, I answered. We're colleagues with a shared mortgage until the paperwork finishes. That's all. Email anything practical. Everything else, keep. She glanced around. Guys were in the bay, tools on, life moving. She hated being so ordinary. That was always the hook. Make a scene, recover control. Not here. Is there another woman? She asked. I almost smiled. There's a man who's done auditioning. She exhaled hard. You're cruel. I'm clear, I said. Security will walk you out if you stay. She stared at me, expecting me to blink. I didn't. Andrea picked up the phone. Jenna left with the box, lips pressed tight. That night she tried a longer apology by email. The subject line, I'm messed up. The body was a letter about pressure, about expectations, about how she was pushed by people who mean well, about wanting us to be a power couple, about me being good but not ambitious enough. It ended with, let's press pause on the paperwork and talk. I replied with one sentence. The paperwork continues. The messages multiplied. Sweet, then angry, then sweet again. She left a note with Mrs. Alvarez. Can you tell him to call me? Please. Mrs. Alvarez tucked it into my mailbox like evidence. She looked small. She told me on her porch the next afternoon. But smallness doesn't fix broken respect. Not my job to fix her size, I said. I hired a storage unit and packed Jenna's things. Clothes, shoes, the vanity she insisted on buying, the set of wine glasses I never touched. I labeled boxes by room. I made a list in a shared doc, clinical, simple. I sent her the link. She replied with, why are you like this? I'm not a client. Exactly, I wrote back. The following week, Tara cornered me outside the grocery store. She crossed her arms like a bouncer at a club she didn't own. You broke her heart, she accused. She didn't leave me much to work with, I said, loading a bag of oranges into the trunk. She was venting, Tara insisted. We all vent. You vented into my home at midnight, I replied. That's not venting. That's trespassing. She scoffed. You're threatened by strong women. I hire strong women, I said. I fire disrespect. She blinked in confusion at the word fire, like it didn't belong in domestic sentences. You're going to end up alone. I'd rather be alone than lectured, I answered and closed the trunk. The second illusion of change came a week after she realized the money wasn't coming back. She left flowers on the porch and a handwritten card. I'm proud of you, it read. You worked so hard for us. I picked up the card with 2 fingers like it might bite. I put the flowers in water because they weren't at fault and set them on the back deck where I sat after work. I didn't text her. That night she waited outside the shop near my truck, arms wrapped around herself. Talk to me, she said when I walked up. Step away from my truck, I answered evenly. Please, she added. I was wrong. I listened too much to my friends. I get it now. I'm ready to build with you. 2 months ago, You were ready to build me into the floor, I said. Your timing's off. I got scared, she said. I thought if I pushed you, you'd push yourself and we'd all be proud. I went too far. I see that now. Then learn, I said. Some lessons in relationships. I won't have anyone, she whispered. You had me, I replied. You traded me for a panel. She reached for my hand. I didn't move. She let hers drop. I'll wait, she said. Don't, I told her. It won't change. She blinked slowly. You really won't even try one more conversation? I tried 30, I said. I'm out. She stood there a few seconds, then stepped back. Okay, she said, more to herself than me. Okay. She left. I got in the truck and sat a while without the radio on. The flowers on the deck wilted in 2 days. I tossed them without ceremony. The weeks crawled and then sprinted. Every now and then, I had to apologize to a friend for Jenna's outreach. She called my sister Dana, who called me. She's begging me to mediate, Dana said, voice steady. Do you want me to? No, I told her. Tell her you love her as a human, and that's it. Don't pass messages. Proud of you, Dana said. Also, Mom says stop skipping dinner. I laughed into the phone. Yes, ma'am. Jenna even showed up at Mrs. Alvarez's porch with a pie. I told her, Mrs. Alvarez reported later. That dessert doesn't erase disrespect. She left the pie anyway. It was decent. Glad something in this story sweetened, I said. At the shop, I explained to the team that I'd be laser-focused for a while, that I'd be taking extra calls and asking for no personal calls through the front desk. Andrea nodded like a field captain. If she shows up again, I'm calling the building office, she said. Thank you, I replied. Keep it boring. I moved through each day like a man who decided once and for all that comfort without respect is a trap. I slept better. I ate less drama. The house felt bigger. 3 weeks in, Jenna left a voicemail on the shop line that Andrea reluctantly transcribed and slipped onto my desk. I'll do anything. I'll cut out the friends. I'll apologize to Mark. I gave the paper back. Shred it. Andrea tilted her head. You're stone. I'm finished, I said. There's a difference. When her last direct deposit came in from a side gig she'd picked up, she emailed, Can you transfer it to me? I need it for rent. I already closed the shared account, I replied. Your deposit went to your account. You'll need to update your employer. Oh, she wrote. And for the first time, there was that smallness without manipulation. But smallness still isn't respect. I wished her luck. That's all. She tried once more on neutral ground. I was at Mike's garage with the guys on a Saturday, doing a brake job and swapping stories. The rolling door was up, sun sharp on concrete. She walked up like she was entering a stage. Jenna, Mike said carefully, posture changing. I just need 2 minutes, she said. Her voice was soft, practiced. Please. We're working, I told her, not stopping. Email for logistics. That rule stands. She looked at the crew, then at me. You're not even going to step outside? No, I said. Boundaries don't have doors. Then I'll wait, she tried. You'll leave, I replied. Because this is my time and you've taken enough of it. Mike didn't move. He didn't have to. She realized there was no foothold here and left. The guys didn't cheer. They nodded. That's what men do when they watch another man pick a line and hold it. By the time the paperwork finished, it felt both fast and slow. There was no dramatic scene at a big building. I signed what needed signing, sent a few emails to close out utilities, and took back my last key. Jenna sent one final message. Can we at least talk once in person? I'll meet wherever. I replied with a sentence she could not twist. There's nothing left to talk about. Then I put my phone in the glove box and drove to a job. A family's heat had quit. The dad met me at the door with a look I understood. Things had been tense, and a working furnace helps. I fixed it. On the way out, the daughter handed me a crayon drawing of a truck. Thank you, she said. That felt like the right world again. Simple exchanges. Clear gratitude. No panels. 2 months later, it was done. No parties. No announcements. I took a Saturday to clear the last of her boxes from storage and sent the code to her email with pickup hours and a deadline. She made it the last day and wrote, got it, like a student. A friend told me she'd moved back in with her parents on the other side of town. Word circled that Tara and Bree weren't around as much. Girls' nights cost money, and sympathy has a short lease when you can't split a check. I didn't gloat. I didn't wish her pain. I wished her distance. My life got quiet and then filled. The shop picked up 3 contracts. Mark and I added a second truck. I turned the guest room into a home office with a door that actually shut well. I started a Tuesday night run with Mike and a few guys and lost the last 10 pounds I'd been pretending were muscle. I met Erin because life likes to surprise you when you stop performing for the wrong audience. She runs a little landscaping crew. First thing she ever said to me was not a compliment or a test. It was, "You left your coffee on my tailgate." We exchanged names. No panel. No scripts. After a few weeks, I took her to a diner. We talked about invoices and weather and the way people treat equipment like it's magic. She laughed at my worst jokes and never once looked over my shoulder for someone more interesting. One afternoon, months later, I saw Jenna across the parking lot of the hardware store. She was with her mom. She started toward me, then stopped when she saw Erin by my truck, loading bags of mulch. Jenna hesitated, lifted her hand like she might wave, then let it fall. She turned back. I didn't call out. We were finished. That had been true the night she said the line, and more true every day after. People like tidy morals. There isn't one here. There's just a man who decided that respect is not a coupon. Once you hand it out for free, people use it up. When you charge full price, the customers change. On the last day I touched anything of Jenna's, I found one of her old notes tucked in a book I'd packed into the office. "Proud of you. You always figure it out." It had a date from our first year in the house. I put the note back, closed the book, and slid it onto the shelf. That man in those words didn't disappear. He learned to defend the ground he stood on. I didn't burn anything. I didn't lock anyone out. I didn't hold court in a kitchen. I set rules and stuck to them. She lost control, comfort, and the status of calling my place hers. That wasn't revenge. That was math. Now Saturdays look like this: coffee on the deck, quiet neighborhood noise, a truck that starts, a phone that doesn't vibrate with midnight panels. Sometimes Erin swings by after a job, soil under her nails, smile that doesn't ask me to audition. We talk work, we talk money, we don't talk about deserving.